Mad Girl's Love Song, Sylvia Plath and Life Before Ted by Andrew Wilson, is a biography of Sylvia Plath that focuses on her life before she met Ted Hughes, her future husband and fellow poet. The book delves into Plath's childhood, teenage years, and early adulthood, exploring the influences that shaped her as a writer and a person. The biography begins with Plath's childhood in Massachusetts, where she was born in 1932. Wilson describes Plath as a precocious child who excelled in school and showed an early interest in writing. Plath's father, Otto Plath, was a German immigrant who worked as a biology professor, and her mother, Aurelia Plath, was a high school English teacher. Plath's father died when she was 8 years old, an event that had a profound impact on her and would later feature prominently in her writing. If you'd like to listen to this book on Audible for free, you can click the link in the description below. If you'd rather read this book, I've added a link to Amazon. Please feel free to leave a comment suggesting another book you'd like me to summarize. Now back to the summary. Wilson explores Plath's teenage years, when she attended high school in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and then Smith College in Northampton. At both schools, Plath distinguished herself as an exceptional student and writer, winning awards and accolades for her poetry and prose. Wilson notes that Plath struggled with feelings of isolation and insecurity during this period, and also experienced a number of personal setbacks, including a serious car accident that left her with a scar on her face. The book also examines Plath's early attempts at love and romance. Wilson describes Plath's first serious relationship with a young man named Dick Norton, whom she met while studying at Smith. Norton was an aspiring writer and poet, and the two bonded over their shared love of literature. However, the relationship was short-lived, and Plath soon found herself struggling to move on from the breakup. Wilson goes on to chronicle Plath's post-college years, when she lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and worked as a receptionist at a psychiatric clinic. During this time, Plath continued to write and submit her work to literary magazines, but she faced numerous rejections and struggled to make a name for herself in the competitive world of publishing. The biography also explores Plath's struggles with mental illness, which would ultimately lead to her suicide in 1963 at the age of 30. Wilson notes that Plath had a history of depression and suicidal thoughts dating back to her teenage years, and that she sought treatment for these issues throughout her life. However, the treatments she received, including electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, were often ineffective and left her feeling alienated and misunderstood. Throughout the book, Wilson emphasizes the ways in which Plath's early life experiences shaped her writing and influenced her worldview. He notes that many of the themes and motifs that would later appear in Plath's poetry and prose can be traced back to her childhood and teenage years. For example, the death of her father and her struggles with mental illness are recurring themes in her work, as are her feelings of isolation and her complex relationships with men. Wilson's biography is well researched and detailed, offering readers a comprehensive look at Plath's early life and the forces that shaped her as a writer and a person. He draws on a range of primary and secondary sources, including Plath's own diaries and letters, as well as interviews with friends and family members. However, some readers may find the book to be overly focused on Plath's romantic relationships and personal struggles, and may wish for more analysis of her literary output and creative process. Overall, Mad Girl's Love Song is a compelling and insightful biography of one of the most important writers of the 20th century. Wilson's careful attention to detail and his deep understanding of Plath's life and work make this book a must-read for anyone interested in the poet's legacy and influence. Please click the subscribe button and head down to the description below to listen to this book for free on Audible. See you in the next summary.